I have to say that I had a really eventful day today. I went to the park and just after, getting all the work done, I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to actually go out there because it's so beautiful today. And as I was walking down the road, I had seen, a few builders and they were just literally panicking. They were shouting and one of them was on the floor and the other one was with him and they were shouting. They're like, oh my God, what do we do? And then I just asked them, is everything okay? Is what's the problem? And they just said, well, one of our guys just had a panic attack, and they didn't know what to do. They were so shocked. And I just said, look, do you mind if I just speak to him? Would that be okay? And they said, yeah, just of course. I said, well, I'm a therapist, and so I just want you to know that I might be able to obviously speak to him and get him out of that feeling. And I just spoke to him and just said, are you okay? And he said, no, I just had a really bad panic attack. I've never had one of those before. And I think that's what it is. And he said that he's just felt really, really shocked as he was getting up the ladder, and it wasn't that far up. Luckily, it was just quite low below, and he just literally came down with a big thud. And I said, are you hurt? Do you want to call an ambulance? He said, no, no, I'm absolutely fine, but I just kind of panicked and don't know what's going on. So I said to him, okay, so when you're going up the ladder, what was actually happening? What was going through your mind? And he said, I just had this horrible vision of my friend who passed away. And I said, okay, that's fine. Just do some breathing. And I did some box breathing with him and just got him to sort of really relax. And I said, okay, so you've had this thought about your your friend passing away. Can you just explain that to me? And he said, well, he was a roofer and he went on the roof and he fell down and he hurt himself so bad. Unfortunately passed away. And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry about that. So what made you suddenly think of that as you got there? He said, I don't know. I've never had that before. He said, obviously it's been upsetting. It was quite traumatizing for him. So he said, as I was going up the ladder, kind of had that vision and I kind of made it feel as if it's about me. I said, okay. And you thought it's about you. How does that impact you now? What is going on in your mind? He said, well, it's pretty stupid because I don't even go on the roof. I'm pretty low down. Where at work, it's at a level where even if I fall, I'm not going to really hurt myself on hurt my ankle or something. Okay, so we had this panic attack because you're going up the ladder. You'd had this vision of your friend who had passed away, and it's quite traumatic, and I get that. So, what does that mean to you? What's actually going on there? And he said, well, that's me thinking. And he sort of went quiet for a moment. And he said, that's me thinking that's going to happen to me. I went, wow. But is it? And he said, no, because I don't even go on the roof, as I said. Okay, so you're not going to go on the roof and you're careful and you don't think it's going to happen to you. But here you are having this panic attack. He said, that sounds so stupid. I said, I don't know what's going on and why I felt like that. I said, it's not stupid at all. So we went through the stages of me having that conversational therapy with him while he was on the floor, just to make sure that he was safe and he wasn't hurt. And literally, he said, I can't believe you've just walked past and you've seen us. And the lads were just like really confused. They didn't know what was going on. He was confused. And he felt really good by the end of it. I said, well, why don't you just book a Zoom call with me and make sure you're okay, but later on and see where we go. He said, do you know what? I've really had trouble sleeping since the accident, and I think that's what it is. I really believe I'm still sort of thinking about that time that happened. I said, so you're thinking about the event, and it's not so much the event, it's the meaning you've taken behind the event that's led you to feeling how you are today. He said, absolutely. So, we're going to book that call. We're going to get working together and let's see what the results. You might be on here or send me a testimonial to say, well, yeah, this is what's happened. It'd be great just to see how and where he's got to now. But it was absolutely brilliant because I checked on him later on just to make sure that he was okay and safe at home, and he was. He wasn't hurt or anything like that. He just said, and it was really, really amazing that I was there, and he was just thanking me so much. And for me, what was really important was that I helped someone who was going through such an awful time, and losing someone, whether it's a work colleague, partner, sibling, child, whoever it is, it's the most traumatic time ever, and everybody's been through it. I've been through it, so of course, of course I understand. And it's it's really debilitating when people just go, oh, it's not a big deal. The other person actually feels really upset about it because they think, well, I'm not heard, I'm not understood, because there's someone that I really, worked with or cared about or whatever it is. And yes, it was just wonderful. And I just had to share my story today, and it was so good, that I've helped him, and you know, as I do help so many people, I feel really good about it. So thank you for listening, and really take care, and speak to all of you soon. I'll be back on doing my posts.